Hi there folks, Nick Toy, Feathertop Winemaker, just coming to you in our virtual cellar door, continuing our series of cellar door tasting notes. Today we're going to have a little look at one of my favourite wines to make. It's our Gris de Gris. It's our little play on a French style of wine that basically utilising Pinot Gris and incorporating some skin contact into that Pinot Gris. So may or may not be able to see here, but this has picked up a really light sort of salmony hue to it. Not nearly as pink as a normal rosé, but certainly has a touch of colour to it. We've done this style to really set it apart from our normal full-blown Pinot Gris, which we try and make in that full sort of Alsatian French style. This Gris de Gris is made quite differently. It's our only white wine that we actually crush the grapes. So normally our grapes are hand-picked and then put whole bunch into the press and very, very softly pressed. This one though, I crush and destem it, put it into the press. On its skins, Pinot Gris has quite a sort of purplish, almost, or it translates as Pinot Grey, but it's almost a purpley hue to it. So there is some colour pigment in the skins of Pinot Gris. And what that does is the juice is then in contact with the skins, extracting some of that colour. Now this wine here only spent about 3 hours on skin, so not a terribly long time, but just to pick up a hint of that colour. What it also extracts is some really interesting flavour compounds, which we don't tend to see in our other Pinot Gris. So when I'm smelling this, it's always just bursting out of the glass, and it's got this incredible character of sort of spiced nashy pears, but on top of this, almost like a kind of fairy flossy character, which I know sounds a bit strange, but every time I taste this wine, it's what it reminds me of, is a little bit of fairy floss or some candy. We've picked this a little bit earlier than our full-blown Pinot Gris too, again to try and differentiate the wine a little bit. So that means that it doesn't have quite the rich, luscious fruit characters of the Pinot Gris, and that's deliberately so, but also to provide a higher natural acidity to the wine. So it's almost a little bit like a flavour profile of a Pinot Grigio, but then with the skin contact with it, extracting the colour and extracting that texture that comes with it. So it's a really interesting wine. There aren't too many of them in the world. In fact, I can only find 2 or 3 when I Google it. But it's a wine that I love making. It sort of sets us apart from some of the other producers around here because we have played around with this style a fair bit over the last 5 years. But it's a wine that we're also very, very proud of. Hope you enjoy.